This channel recently received a comment regarding its videos on NASA astronaut Colonel Gordon Cooper. It suggested, without any supporting evidence, that everyone knew both Cooper and Mitchell suffered from delusions and senility in their old age. Thus, why was I circulating his statement about a saucer landing at Edwards Air Force Base in the mid to late 1950s? Here is the clip in question as it was filmed in 1996.
6 years later, Cooper again encountered a UFO. This one definitely was not a weather balloon. While supervising flight testing at Edwards Air Force Base, his military camera crew actually filmed an unidentified saucer-shaped object landing near the site.
As they were sitting there filming, a little saucer came from, I say little saucer, it was a saucer, came flying over their heads, put down 3 little landing gear and landed right out on the dry lake bed. And they picked up their cameras and started over toward it, filming as they went. And when they got in fairly close to it, it lifted up, put the gear back in the wheel wells, tipped up, and took off at a great rate of speed. And so they came into my office and told me what had happened, and I sent them over to develop the film. And then had to go through all the proper regulations of reporting this. And we wound up having to send the film forward to Washington in the base jet airplane, and I don't know whether anyone's ever seen it since.
The viewer's assertion in the challenge question is invalid because we've known since 1987 that it was a young Gordon Cooper who told Raymond Fowler about the saucer landing at Muroc Field and prior to his appointment as a Mercury 7 astronaut in 1959. Here is the evidence of that claim.
The standard operating procedure for gun camera photographs, which interceptors readily were able to do on intercept missions concerning UFOs, would land, the canister would be taken, the pilots would be debriefed, told to keep quiet, and they wouldn't even see the film. I have a tape transcript of Gordon Cooper prior to his becoming an astronaut, who was a test pilot. He was out at Edwards Air Force Base, which was called Muroc Air Force Base in those days. He stated they had a UFO landing there, and because they had camera crews set up for an experimental aircraft, they were able to move the camera crews there and took photographs before it took off. He said the canisters were taken, they weren't allowed to see the film, and as he said it in his sort of southern-like drawl, off to Washington, never to be seen again.
Right.
Another common question has been why the channel presents so much ufology history. The answer there is rooted in the fact that human memory and deductive reasoning have been impaired by particulate air pollution and other contamination. It will not be acceptable for only an elite class of human beings on planet Earth to come to understanding while others are left in the dark. Under the principle of noblesse oblige, that elite must work to ensure that no child is left behind.